Welcome back, guys, to another video review. I'm the techgooch, and as you see before me, I have another router review for you guys. So Linksys actually sent this guy over to me to check out, test out, and then give you my honest opinion on it. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. This is going to be as unbiased as possible, whether they gave it to me or not. But this is their new WRT 3200 series from Linksys. It is that older blue and black style that actually I like a lot. It's one of my favorite looking routers I've ever seen. I like that angular look to it. So I'm glad they kept the WRT series alive. This has 4 large, awesome antennas on it. It does have 4 Lan ports on it. And then, of course, 2.45 gigahertz. Does have the AC connection, but also MU-MiMo. So this is multiple in, multiple out. So that's kind of one of my core things that are necessary for a premium router to have, is the MU-MiMo technology built into it. Which, if you're not understanding what that is, essentially what the best way to put it is that you can have multiple users connecting to the router simultaneously through the same band. And being served simultaneously with that data connection. So multiple users for a lot of gadgets in your house doing multiple things at the same time. MU-MiMo is awesome, and it's one of those things that you can actually notice a difference when you're doing multiple things. Now, I have the router actually hooked up right now, and to give an idea, my previous large router review, other than the Eero series, but a singular router, was the Netgear X8, which, if you watched my review on that one, I was not a fan of. Now, that one I did purchase, and I did return it because I had nothing but issues with it. I had nothing but it just wasn't reliable. And my number one thing for router is it has to be reliable, and of course on a new one it should be reliably fast. So, I'm not getting into specifics for latencies and everything like that. I'm getting into actual use for everyday Joe, trying this out, family router. Speed-wise, I do a lot of streaming. YouTube, Netflix, news. The election was just finally last night. I did all of that streaming through my CBS, NBC, ABC News apps on my Apple TV. Not a single time have I, since I've actually got this router. I've been using it for a couple weeks now, and I have not had any latency or any kind of streaming issues at all. Now, of course, you can have things that go down from your internet provider. I've actually had this pairing with my cable modem with, I think only one time did my cable modem founder. Now, the cable modem actually has gone down several times before I actually put this on here, so I am up for a new cable modem. And it wasn't actually the router, it was actually the cable modem that caused that. That was the one time, I think, in the whole 2 weeks that I ever had any issues. I did not actually restart the router. I thought, you know what, we're going to find out real quick if it's the router or the cable modem, so I restarted the cable modem, and voila, up we were running. So that's the only time I actually had a disconnection where I didn't have internet in my house. And it always happens when I'm uploading a large YouTube video to my channel. When I upload several at a time, it's always the first video kills, the cable modem dies sometimes, and then I have to restart it, and then I'm fine. So, that aside. Connection-wise, Wi-Fi. Not only is the connection extremely fast, it's extremely reliable, and I can connect from various lengths, or a very, very good distance. And I'm going to actually show you that here in a moment, because that's one thing I'm really impressed with this, is how far I can go from this router and still have a usable connection. Really far. I mean, I'm sure there are routers out there that maybe even do that better than this, and I know you can get different antennas for these guys. These are the stock antennas, and I was impressed by how far it was. It is the longest range router I have ever actually had in my house. So I'm going to show you that as well. To really get into this, we're going to actually head over. I'm going to show you the physical router here in a moment. But to kind of prove a point, to show you that at least that I am not joking, I'm just going to go to fast.com, which is Netflix's kind of speed test, over Wi-Fi, and it's running. I don't even know what it's running at. What is it running at? 120. Oh, 94. I have a 150 meg connection. from MediaCom, which means it's all over the damn place. From 60 to 100 to 100. I mean, I've gotten 150 a couple times, but not frequently. 94 is actually a really good day, actually. If I try it again here, 110. Yeah, so, I mean, MediaCom can be all over the place. So, that said, let's take the video over to the actual router itself, and I'll actually show you what it looks like, all set up and beautiful. Now, we will have another video in the future of the actual setup of this, because I'm going to actually do a full tutorial. That's going to be over on my Geek Smart channel. If I remember, I'll actually post a link to this video in a card, so that'll be there as well. Otherwise, let's go over and take a peek. Alright, so one little gripe I will say right here that you may see is the power cord. I'm not the biggest fan of putting, you know, the large guy there on the end. The cord wasn't long enough to actually reach. Now mine goes way down the back of the desk into my power supply, which I have a better backup system. So what I did is I just ran a small extension cord up to here and plugged it in up here because it wasn't quite long enough and I'd have to extend it regardless. So that said, that's why you see it back there, but I'm not the biggest fan of this kind of power cord. I'd rather them have the power supply built into the actual router, but then again, there may be an actual reason why that is, and maybe I don't want to have that by the antennas, but then again, I haven't really noticed any kind of problems at all, so maybe I might want to get that out of there, but I actually pulled it up here for a reason. I usually keep it on the next shelf down, but that said, so here's the router and the awesome antenna. Now, of course, with all these electronics around here, if you notice things like that, my eventual thought is to actually put it up on the wall on a shelf to keep it away from any other static or any other electronic source of noise. But like I said before, I honestly have no problems with reception, and I have no problems with range of it sitting right here by my computer desk with all these goodies around it. This will tell you on your 2.4 and your 5 gigahertz bands of how it's active, if you're connected to the internet. If you disconnect from the internet, which if I unplug this, actually, let me just unplug my modem real quick. So this is how I power cycle my modem. This guy will actually turn orange. So it'll tell you, hey, your internet connection's out. So when you have problems with your internet connection, that can happen. Have your USB connections, which there are USB connections on the back of this, USB 1 and USB 2. There is an eSATA connection back there as well, and I'll actually flip it around here in a second. And then you also have your LAN connections. Now I only use 2 of them, one directly to my computer and the other to a switch, which has 8 or 7 actually other devices plugged into it. So because there's only a 4-port on this, I use a switch for everything else. And then this is your WR, or your the little WRT button to add on other devices, which that guy lights up when I hit the button there. I wish the button was a little bit easier to use, but it's actually right behind this back here, and I'll turn it around. But if I click on it to connect another device, it'll do that for, I think it's like 2 minutes. It'll unlock, and then you can hit the WRT connection on the other device, and voila, you have a range extender added. On the bottom, you have your standard stuff, your standard Wi-Fi password and everything are linked down there. Of course, I don't use that anyway. And then let me flip it around here so you can see the backside. So there's your USB/eSATA device port, and then a USB 3, which is USB 2 port, and then your 4 Ethernet ports. There is a power switch over there on the one side, which is nice. Your red reset button, so if you need to reset it, is back there as well. So that's what the device looks like. Like I said, I have had nothing but great things, great times with this router so far, and I've had no issues. Obviously, now that the internet's back up, it's not orange anymore, if you notice that. But yeah, pretty awesome. The antennas are pretty nice. You can, like I said, you can actually get bigger ones of these, but out of the box, the stock ones actually work really, really good. So I'm gonna actually do a video outside, trying to show you the range and capability of the router. So hopefully you can see this, but I'm actually out in my backyard and I'm getting about 7 megabits per second. Kind of jumps between 6.4 is the solid. Between 5 and 10 is kind of where it was jumping. But I am literally way in my backyard. It's not anywhere near. So when I did this for the X8, which I actually didn't video, because I do these tests with all of my routers, I was actually way off from, now I'm getting 15, 14, So obviously it'll all depend. And I've actually gotten a signal even further out than this. I can keep going in my backyard. I've actually connected to the router back by my garden. Of course, it's kind of hit or miss back there. But essentially, with the X8 or from some of the other routers I've actually tested, I couldn't get near this far and actually have a, I mean, like just going to Google, it would just sit there and spin and do nothing, and then it would kick off and go to LTE for on my phone. But I'm going to try a little bit further out here. I mean, now it's showing 1 bar maybe on my device. It's finding an internet. Oh, if you can see that, I don't know if it's automatically doing, but it's still showing 6. I'm another 20 feet out. You can see my house there in the background. But I mean, it's connecting. It is on Wi-Fi. You can see the Wi-Fi belt up there. I'm gonna try going a little bit further. I don't know how good this video is gonna be because the sun's kind of getting bright. This is about as far out as I've ever actually gotten it to connect to that specific router. Hopefully that's decent video. Let's see if I get it. It's still showing I'm connected. I just dropped. So like I said, I'm at the last little bit that I've ever actually gotten able to connect and actually have a workable signal, because usually your phone will just be like, yeah, I can connect, but I'm not getting enough feed to do much of anything. But let's see if I can actually get it to connect. I'm trying to keep this as real as possible. Real life situation, right? So I'm couple, what would you say, 250 feet at least, probably, from my router. I get it to connect, but it won't go through the Netflix thirdfast.com. So that's it. I mean, to me that's an awesome range, because not only very usable, right, but how many routers can you actually be that far away and actually have a really good strong signal that I can stream HD video if I wanted to. So, that said, range capability of it in real world testing, really good. And that's 20 feet in my house through brick, and then in my yard. So my yard is very open. I don't have any trees in my yard, unfortunately. One day I will, but yeah, pretty awesome. So, real quick, I guess, I didn't open the box earlier. It comes with the router, and it comes with a power cable, and it comes with an Ethernet cable, which I already had, but it does give you a flat Ethernet cable, which I do like these. It's documentation CD, right, that you can throw on your computer. But other than that, the antennas are loose, and you screw them into the actual piece itself, and you can actually get large antenna, like I said, and then the standard setup procedure, which is quick and easy, to be honest, and the base wireless password and stuff like that, which if you get one of these routers, more than 90% of the time you're going to change that password in the actual SSID of the router. But my final thoughts, it's an awesome router, specifically for the cost, because if I compare this to the much more expensive X8, there is no comparison. This is a substantially better router. It is not as big, but has stronger connection, much more reliable, faster in terms of its Wi-Fi capability because of the MU-MiMo, and on top of, yes, I understand it's a 3200 versus a 5400 router, and there are that tri-band and all that cool things. Most people don't need tri-band. Unless you know you need it, take a peek at a really, really good dual band. And on top of all of that, the range I have with this guy is awesome. So I hope that you enjoyed the little video of me showing you the router, and I hope you enjoyed me actually showing you the range. But if you have any questions or comments on this guy, please post those below. Please, if you like the video, let me know. Subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Thumbs up and like this video. Tell your friends about it. And if you're looking for a really good router for the holiday season, or you're in for a good upgrade anyway, definitely take a peek at the new WRT series from Linksys, because I definitely give it my thumbs up. I have not had to restart it a single time. Not once. And that, to be honest, is probably my #1 gripe with most new routers, is how often do I have to actually go over to the router to restart it to get it to run like it did when I started the first time. And this is one of those routers that I have not had to do that with. So, awesome job, guys over at Linksys. Thank you for sending me this over. And I can't wait to show you guys how to set it up. I do have an extender that I'm actually doing here shortly as well. Another video review that I really hope you guys watch, because it's a way of taking this to new heights with larger homes. This has great connectivity for longevity, but there are those of you that have larger homes that want a fast connection in all your rooms, or like me, your walls are actually made of a really, really hard material that don't like to put Wi-Fi through them. So if you're in that boat, check it out. My next video, which will be basically the extender that you can extend this guy or any other Linksys or the router as well. So check that out. Otherwise, we will catch you on the next video. Make sure you check us out on social media at techgooch and thetechgooch.com. Thanks, guys, for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.